One time.
We have an all California couch. I have to take advantage of that because you guys just bring to us such a wealth of knowledge and such a great history of experience in that state, a couple thousand miles to the west of us. And I want to kind of get to the core of an issue that I've talked about with each of you privately, and that is this idea that California is the most educated market in the U.S. on this subject. And it's also the home of, many think the most substantial base of true marijuana connoisseurs, people who understand this plant, people who truly take everything into consideration, both when they're growing the plant or maybe making concentrates edibles, but also when they're consuming and saying, oh no, I wouldn't touch that brand from that cultivation, I only do this, or I wouldn't do anything with chemicals, I'm completely solventless, or whatever it is. I've certainly had that experience being in California recently, that I'm just amazed at the quality of the edibles there, the quality of ingredients when you're looking at the side of that package, and it's like, this seems like this truly was made with a patient in mind, a patient potentially with a compromised immune system. But here's my question to you. We'll start with you, Ellen. Is the California cannabis connoisseur kind of the ultimate connoisseur in this conversation in 2016 turning into 17?
Yeah, I mean, I really do believe that we are. We've been in the game since 1996 with the medical program. I met Dennis Perrone. Those people are still around, inspiring us every day. I do feel like there is a push in California for the finest of the fine things, as we like our wines and our artisan foods. We also love incredible cannabis. We like to have a transparency from who's growing it and how it got to us. I think that's something that consumers in California are demanding these days. And for me, it's just, there's celebrations of things like solventless hash. There's crews of people who get together, and this is what they love to do, and this is, they're dabbing and they're trying this, getting together and sharing these amazing, just blends of cannabis. I think that, we are having a great time in California.
And you yourself are one of those people. You were telling me last night that solventless hash is your jam, and you just prefer it over anything made with butane or CO2. Why is that? And also, when you say that there are others like you, what do those parties or sessions look like?
I think for me, it's a little bit about just like the purity. Just water and ice went into making it, knocking off those trichomes and making them exceptional tasting. Retains a lot of the flavor in that regard because you're not stripping it with a different type of chemical. And yeah, those parties are amazing. They are in art lofts in San Francisco. You show up and you have, you give your ID and your medical recommendation, and you're inside. You can sample as much as you'd like. They also have like edibles on the table, things like that. I had an incredible blueberry, strawberry, graham cracker crusted pie on the 4th of July. And
yes,
please. It felt like so American, like I was like, this is America right here. I'm in San Francisco. I'm having an edible pie. I'm trying some hash. Like this is freedom, and this is a great expression of where we should be. So
and it just sounds like it comes down to a better understanding of the plant from start to finish, including the products that are made from this plant. Jim, what's your take on this? Would you agree with Ellen's take and what I continue to hear? Because certainly there are people in Colorado who are passionate. They know a lot about what's going on, but California just has this history. It's been a part of the mainstream conversation there for so long. Yeah. Is this something that you would agree with?
Yeah, I would. It's very normalized. Again, like Ellen mentioned, horizontal food and all that kind of stuff. Everybody wants the organic, the creme de la creme of, it's fun to go to the store and try to find like the fancy new, goat sheep cheese that's marinated in garlic, olive oil, and and with cannabis, it's like that
yes,
too.
Please. I want that too.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. So I do. I do as well. But there's pockets of it all over the place. I mean, you had like Roger Volodowski from Puffco on the show here before, and that guy is a connoisseur.
So he's based out of New York?
He's based in New York. So if I need to know something about hash, I call him because he's accessible to me. You know, it's all over the place. Everybody as a country, if you're striving to experience the best, I think it's. I think that California may lead, but there's certainly places and pockets around that.
Well, I mean, you bring up a good point, because I visited you in Sausalito a couple months back.
Yeah.
I had a couple hours to kill on my way up to the Russian River.
Hanging at the houseboat.
Got to hang with you on the houseboat. We went into town. I was like, hey, we need some breakfast. We're starving. And you're like, cool, let's do this. You took us into some, you know, it's like Whole Foods, but way better, and it seemed just so local. Some really tremendous food. We had those gorgeous breakfast burritos, great coffee.
Yeah.
You got some chicken stock in a frickin' mason jar, and I'm like, cool, Jim. But everything in that shop was so artisanal and so angled at like your health, your body, be aware of what you're putting in your body, and that seems to translate to weed. Do you guys see that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the edibles. I look at the package of an edible. You know, we were talking about this last night. The quality of food can sometimes be gauged by the amount of ingredients in there. And when you're looking at an edible package and there aren't that many ingredients, and the ingredients that are there are things that you're familiar with and that make you feel good or give you energy, you know, that's encouraging.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to buy an edible that's just, you know, full of sugar or synthetic things that, you know, spend all this money going to Good Earth, buying the good food. You want to take care of yourself, exercising, etc. You don't want to bombard your body with a bunch of junk.
Yeah, there's so many choices out there. I got to be a judge for the Emerald Cup Edibles competition in 2014.
I did that one.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Even in California, there's differencing on the packaging with the new regulations coming in. Hopefully, we'll see more structure to that. But some of them contain the ingredients, some of them contain the dosing, some of them, you know, say nothing.
Yeah.
So as a consumer, you know, it's important to find the ones that you want to. You know, try and support for your health and wellness, but also to give your dollars to the right place. For me, that's where I feel. So
I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe when I did the same thing with High Times. I did the edibles category, and there was stuff that wasn't labeled at all. I mean,
you just
I just didn't take it because
it's not worth
it's not
the
worth
risk.
it. You know.
Well, I took the risk.
Well, you're more bold than I. Good for you.
Well, it's a good point, because I was given something in California, an edible, as well, and most of them were legit, had the ingredients, had the total milligrams of activated THC plus per piece, and then one of them didn't have anything, and it was just this mystery, and I was like, well, how do you get away with that? And then I remembered, oh yeah, I'm in California. They're still out here in the Wild West in terms of packaging, but I don't know. I think it's an important conversation to have, and it's something that's important to be aware of, especially as these other markets, including Colorado, grow into their own connoisseurship. And for those of you whose feelings are hurt, we're not dissing Colorado or you're seeing in Oregon or Washington, but I would encourage you to go down to Cali to see what's going on down there, because definitely some interesting things going on.
It's really normalized.
Yes. Oh, so normalized.